Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to another EBTV sports presentation. Tonight from East Brunswick High School, it is football as East Brunswick takes on South Brunswick in a Greater Middlesex Conference Red Division game. And this person to my left is not a ghost, even though it's Halloween. It's Phil Hill. And Phil, thank you very much for joining me, Jimmy Allinder, as we enjoy this game tonight.
Well, it's great to be back. I haven't seen this. This will be really my first view. I caught a glimpse of them one quarter, but this will be my first real view of the Bears, so I'm looking forward to it.
Let me ask you a couple questions here. East Brunswick, 2-4 record. I've seen them really play well. The last game that we televised was against Woodbridge, and East Brunswick really had Woodbridge on the ropes, and now Woodbridge is now a 4-2 team headed to the playoffs. Last week against Bishop Bar, which might be the worst team in Middlesex County, they only came away with a 7-2 victory. You know, what kind of team are we going to see with East Brunswick?
Jim, you can't judge that 7-2 victory over Bishop Bar for one reason. Matt Mariano, the quarterback, did not play at all. Dwayne Schultz substituted at quarterback, and that was a game-time decision there. So that had to catch the whole team off balance. So for them to get out with a win, even though it was Bishop Bar, I think says something. Their defense played well, and their offense did enough not to lose the game. So not a real test because Mariano was not in there starting.
Something else scary, we were looking at the respective records of East Brunswick and South Brunswick. Not only are they both 2-4, but they have a lot of common opponents, and the scores are almost identical.
It is scary. Again, we're going to run this Halloween theme into the ground, but it is a little spooky. I'll tell you this here. They mirror each other so very much, not only the 2-4 records, but both teams coming here needing this victory tonight as well as a win next week to pull the 500 and hopefully to get a chance to play in this state playoffs. Both teams know this. You want to throw in another something. Both teams are option teams. South Brunswick is a wishbone team, and the Bears, of course, is the famous E-bone. So we're going to see a lot of option as well. Both teams have had tough losses where they've ended up inside the 5-yard line with time running down and have lost a game. And as you said by the scores there, their defenses at times have played very well, and at other times they've given up, like the Woodbridge game, given up big yardage. So it's hard to say what's going to happen, but no, I can't imagine two more teams in Middlesex County that are like.
It's absolutely true, and quite honestly, we don't know how this game is going to play out, so they're going to play it on the field. So we're going to take a short break now, and we'll be back with the kickoff right after this. All right, we are back at J. Doyle Field here, where we're looking ready to look at the coin toss for tonight's game between East Brunswick and South Brunswick. As we mentioned, Phil, both teams come into the game with a 2-4 record, and it looks like East Brunswick, and this is starting to become a common thing, deferring to the second half. Team wins, the toss, and they say, okay, we'll wait till the second half.
Yeah, which means most teams are ready to get their defense on the field and have
really
more confidence. And both of these teams probably should have more confidence in their defense than the offense, because the offenses haven't been putting up a whole lot of points.
True. So with East Brunswick deferring to the second half, South Brunswick will receive. We are going to be going from our left to right, East Brunswick kicking off. And East Brunswick has some good size out there, but
Jim,
unfortunately,
you took the words out of my mouth. And taking a good look at the players, man. I don't remember when East Brunswick has had the size that they have out there right now and across the board. Wow, do they have some size.
Well, I have to say that you've probably been looking at South River a little bit too much. Might have a little something to do with it.
Well, they have size too, but for East Brunswick, for the numbers that they've always had, they haven't always had size. And this year, clearly they got size, and a lot of these guys are juniors too.
Yeah, exactly. However, one senior to note is James Correa. He's an outstanding player, as is another one that I'm looking for his number. It's Asiani. Dan Asiani, number 68. He's 5'10", 259.
Wow.
He's also an excellent player. And Dan is just a sophomore.
Wow.
So East Brunswick has some up-and-coming players.
They got some size, which bodes well.
Right. Okay, kicking off for the Bears is Maximiliano Sanchez. He does handle the kicking chores for the Bears.
Maximiliano.
Wow. I was able to get that out. Whew. And we are about ready to start this game. Kick is deep. Taken by number 1. That's Damar Kiachi. And he brings it up to about the 42-yard line. That is where South Brunswick Vikings will begin.
Yeah, and this kid's name, Jim, is DeMarquis.
DeMarquis. Achi.
And then Achi comes in there.
Okay. Appreciate the help on that.
I think the parents were thinking Premier or something.
Now, quarterback is number 7, Trey Perry. He is a senior. And good field position for South Brunswick. Out to pass. He's a left-hander, and he connects with number 21. That's Daryl Pratt.
And I tell you, talking to Mark Prelowitz, the new head coach of South Brunswick, he said he was going to put the ball in the air a little bit more. Against Woodbridge, he put the ball in the air 13 times, Jim, which was an unusually high number for them. So they're going to try something else to get this offense started.
Right. That game was about 8 yards, so it'll make it 2nd and 2. South Brunswick now in East Brunswick territory on the Bears' 49-yard line. Perry is calling signals. Give is up the middle. I believe that's number 44, Evan Mahoney.
Mahoney running hard hit there. Mahoney, their fullback there, is their workhorse.
You look at South Brunswick, they have size as well across the line.
And what you're going to see, they're an aggressive team. As I said, they mirror East Brunswick an awful lot. Games that they've been in could have gone either way.
That run by Mahoney was good for a first down, so the Vikings will have 1st and 10 on the East Brunswick 47-yard line.
Okay, first time for Wishbone tonight.
East Brunswick practices against it. Number 25, there's a good hit. That was Vince Davison. Vince, I thought, was going to go up the middle, but he bounced to the outside, Phil.
He cut it back there, and I'll tell you, you're right, a fine tackle by Dwayne Schultz, number 17, coming up from his corner spot to make that tackle.
Gain of 6 on the play, making it 2nd and 4. 10:45 left to go in this first period. We're just underway between East Brunswick and South Brunswick. Perry, that was a give up the middle.
Wow.
Still going is Mahoney.
And there's a flag as well. That might be a face mask. Let's see.
That's the call, Phil.
Yeah.
And would it be an automatic 15-yard penalty or a 5-yard penalty?
They got the first down, Jim.
Okay.
I'll tell you this here, Prelowitz has come out with 3 different sets so far, trying to keep the Bears off balance. You prepare all week for the wishbone, and they've only shown it one time tonight. Here it is again.
All right, that was a 5-yard mark-off, so a first down, as Phil mentioned, for South Brunswick. This time, Davidson was caught just about at the line of scrimmage.
And that's John Park.
Right.
From his linebacker slot coming up to make the tackle.
Not a big player, 5'8", 154-pound junior. So we'll make it 2nd and, let's call it 2nd and 10. South Brunswick in East Brunswick territory. This is the opening drive of the game. Perry was going to pitch it, but no, brought down. Phil, it seems like East Brunswick knows how to attack a wishbone because of the practice that it has going against its offense.
Well, they've had experience over the years playing against Old Bridge and whatnot, so they're used to that. And they see it every day when the preseason. That's all they run, so they should have some idea how to stop it. It's assignment football, and we'll talk a little bit about that later, Jim.
Okay, a loss on the play brings the ball back to the 35-yard line, and let's make it 3rd and about 16. Perry back to pass. Throws it long down the corner.
Wow.
And right into the arms of a waiting who? Number 21, that's Darryl Pratt, who made the first catch for South Brunswick.
And I'll tell you, Prelowitz again talked about his passing game. I've checked the statistics, and you won't find Trey Perry anywhere in statistics for passing, but he threw a nice one there.
He did, and also Pratt did a nice job of fighting off Javon Jones. So a first down, that was a key play right there. That was 3rd and long, and they get a first down just outside the 10-yard, inside the 10-yard line. Perry to his left, pitches back. There's a cut, still on his feet.
Wow.
Will not go down, finally goes down, and then gets a loss on that play.
I'll tell you, looking very dangerous there, but Javon Jones finally making a tackle for the Bears. The Vikings looking a little sloppy on that play there.
Yeah, they were. So Davidson's loss makes it 2nd and, well, that was inside the 10-yard line, so it's actually 2nd and goal. All resting on about the 18-yard line. There's a pass caught by Davison. However, good defensive coverage. Was that Robinson on that coverage?
That's Robinson, number 23 on the bottom there, making that stop there.
Yep.
Fine tackle. But again, the Vikings are passing more than they've passed all year. As I said, 13 passes against Woodbridge, but prior to that, hadn't done much passing at all.
Entering the game is number 83, Danny Fessel, who takes over for Korea. Fessel, really very, very active lineman and linebacker. Oops.
And that's going to cost the Bears 5 yards, Jim, I believe.
Yes, they did. They penetrated. So that 5-yard penalty will bring it down to, let's say, maybe the 12-yard line?
Okay, and if you're Prelowitz, you got to be feeling pretty good. South Brunswick hasn't done much scoring at all this year, and the way they're moving right now, they look like they might be in position to do so.
Okay, 3rd down, 3rd and goal. Ball resting on about the 13-yard line. We have 7:10 to go in the first period. No score between East Brunswick and South Brunswick. Perry drops back to pass. Now he elects to run. And credit that sack, if you will, by Javon Jones, who really penetrated. That was really a safety blitz.
I'll tell you, doing a nice job there, and he had some help. Number 53, Gregory Burns, as well, coming in to make that tackle.
So a fine defensive effort here by East Brunswick, coming up big on a 1st and goal, has pushed back South Brunswick to the 22-yard line, so they're going to have to go for it all here. You got to figure they're going to be thrown to the end zone. Perry lofts one deep, and just a little long to, how do you say that, DeMarkey?
Hetch.
Hetch.
Like an H. Hetch.
Okay.
And I'll tell you this here, the Vikings doing something a little bit different here, and the Bears are able to hold on, and now the Bears take over.
All right, East Brunswick does its job, and now back at quarterback is the junior Matt Mariano, who, as Phil mentioned, did not play last week against Bishop Bar. Pitches to Robinson, going left. Gets around one tackle, and nice bit of running.
I'll tell you, Robinson picking up that first down there, and I'll tell you, Brian Robinson, beginning of the year, everybody thought that if you can keep Brian Robinson healthy, these Bears could do a lot of damage. I can only read box scores and stuff, Jim, and apparently he's had some injury problems.
He's had some injury problems, but when he's right, he really is a very, very effective runner. He makes good, smart decisions. So a first down for East Brunswick. There's a quick, sneaky pitch up the middle, as you can see. Mariano feels very comfortable in this option offense.
And that was Hovan Jones, number 2 on the dive there, picking up good yardage.
Jones is was a little nicked on that last play, and I was surprised he got the ball, but still he got 5 yards, well, about 4 yards on the play. Bringing up a 2nd and 6. Ball's in East Brunswick territory on the 36-yard line. 5:23 left to go, no score. Mariano calling signals. Keeps it himself. Gets to the outside. And South Brunswick a little bit confused.
A little bit confused because I tell you, Matt Mariano just did a nice job. We know about the option, Jim. It's all about reading what the defense gives you. He tucked it in there nicely, faked it to the fullback, took it out, and took it around for another first down. A healthy Matt Mariano.
So the Bears move the ball up to the 46-yard line. Javon and I believe that's Robinson in the backfield. Mariano keeps it up the middle. Runs into some interference there.
And the word on this South Brunswick Viking defense is that they can be very physical and can be very tough. You might, you may break a big one on them now and then, but they're going to be fighting all game.
All right, I see number 3 in the backfield for East Brunswick, but I do not have an identification on him. There's no number 3 in the program. 2nd and 7, we'll call it. Ball just at the 49. There's a give up the middle to this. Is that Jones? No, it's the number 3, and we're going to get his name hopefully in a couple minutes.
It's apparently it's Nick.
Okay, Zelak, who was listed as number 22 in our program.
Zelak coming off of a big game against Bishop Bar, Jim, 141 yards on the ground.
Zelak, just a sophomore, getting some playing time. There's your true wishbone in the backfield, Phil. Give to Robinson, skirts the side, and gets another first down for the Bears. So they're churning up some yards here.
I tell you, Robinson with a little spin there to pick up that first down there. And the Bears look like they got the running game going. And what they want to do is control that ball, Jim. They don't need any big plays. If they can continue to move like this, that's all they want.
Phil, I'm all for these types of drives. The only problem is the more you handle the ball, and we've seen this in the past, the more opportunities for turnovers.
But when you handle like they're handling it right now, they haven't tried to pitch it yet like South Brunswick did. And that's where the trouble comes in, the risk factor when you try to pitch it.
All right, with the ball on the ground, the clock continues to run, under 3 minutes now. There's a pitch, and then Zelak, nice cut, gets to the outside and is finally wrestled down about the 20-yard line. That was a nice run.
I'll tell you, nice run. Mark Fisher, number 22, making the tackle there. But Zelak showing some good speed. As I said, against Bishop Bar, we didn't know whether it was aberration or what, but he came up with 141 yards. Right there, he looks like he can play.
And East Brunswick could certainly use an infusion of offense to go along with Brian Robinson and Mariano. Javon Jones is the lone setback. Give is to, nope, Zelak wants to keep it himself.
That's
nice
dope.
Run. Jumps through. There's that toughness.
I believe that's Hovan Jones, on that run.
Was
there.
it Jones?
Yep.
Actually, Jones is number 2.
Number 4?
Yeah.
Let's see who that is.
That's the quarterback.
Mariano. He kept it, faked everybody out. Faked me out, Jim.
Okay. All right, we have a 1st and goal for the Bears. Basically in the same situation that South Brunswick was a few minutes ago. Let's see if they can push it in. It's right around the 8-yard line. They keep it on the ground, gives to Robinson. He churns his way right down to the goal line. Just short.
I'll tell you, Brian Robinson, a high stepper there, and almost stepped right out of it into a touchdown there. A fine run.
I'll tell you what, East Brunswick looking real good moving the ball tonight.
Well, East Brunswick's known anytime they have an extra week to prepare, they usually come out that following week pretty sharp, Jim, and that's what we're seeing right now.
Down to 1:30 left to go in the first quarter of play. No score, but East Brunswick knocking on the door. 2nd and goal. Mariano gives it up the middle to Jones. Is he in? Yes, he is. Javon Jones scoring on a 1-yard plunge at 1 minute and 20 seconds of the first period to give East Brunswick a 6-0 lead. Give credit to that offensive line, too, by the way.
Give credit to that offensive line because you got a number of backs carrying the ball, just switching off and whatnot, and just a fine job marching down the field.
Tony Ogiel, nice blocking on his part. That kick is up, and it is no good. Apparently off to the left. So East Brunswick missing the extra point.
And missing the extra point has cost East Brunswick a game this year.
Right.
Where they lost 7-6, so we want to keep that in mind. They gotta get those extra points.
Absolutely.
But again, Jim, if you're Marcus Borden and East Brunswick Bears, you got to feel pretty good about this initial drive here. Just taking it right on down the field and utilizing a bevy of backs to get it done.
You bet. All right, we're getting all kinds of sounds out here. This is the cheerleaders going through their routine.
I want candy. Why not? It's Halloween.
I can understand that. Who's choreographing this stuff?
It looks like the bear.
All right. Over top of the sound, we're going to try to let you know that East Brunswick is kicking off. And Sanchez gets a short kick off, and he needs to put that a little bit deep. This is the second time that South Brunswick has been out by the 40-yard line to begin a drive, and you don't want to give the team that much of a break. I don't know if I'm seeing a couple players slip down there. I'm wondering, having played a soccer game here the other day, perhaps maybe
could be.
You see a lot of the brown, a lot of mud out there.
All right, Brian Robinson coming up with the tackle on that kickoff.
All right. So East Brunswick with a 6-0 lead, and let's see what South Brunswick does in the way of responding. Perry gives up the middle. This time it's a north and south run by Davison. Maybe that was the problem for South Brunswick. They're doing too much option and dancing.
Right, they came back to what the basics, which is the wishbone there, and gave it to the trailing back there and picked up good yardage.
And we'll give him about 7 yards on that play, making it 2nd and 3. Just under a minute left to play in the first quarter. The Bears getting on the board first, 6-0. Again, up the middle. Nope, bounces to the outside and pulled down. Mahoney pulled down by number 21. That was Ayala.
Robert Ayala, 5'11", 172, defensive back coming up and slamming them to the ground.
Phil, what I've seen so far is that the secondary for East Brunswick has been rather active. In other words, when they see run, they come up.
They're reacting. They got to be careful. Could get burned on it, but right now they're doing a good job.
3rd and 4 with loss of 1 on that play. Perry gives up the middle. Mahoney, I don't think he got it.
I tell you, he came so close, Jim, and then was pushed back. And I think he just might be an inch short.
Oh yeah, and he's probably about a yard short. Nonetheless, that was the last play of the first quarter. So East Brunswick with a 6-0 lead. And Phil, we mentioned that the Bears really need this game to hopefully qualify for Central Jersey Group 4. At this point right now, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 teams ahead of them. Okay, and they need to get, as you mentioned, a 500 record.
Right.
And they have to finish in the top 8. So a lot depends on what's going to happen with these teams.
All they can worry about is do what they can do, and they would have to win this game tonight. Then they would have to beat Perth Amboy next week. And like I said, they would need a little help from somebody, but things could happen. So they just got to concentrate on what they got to do.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what you have to do, win the game. We're about ready to go with the second half. But another thought is that South Brunswick, by winning this game, they can get residual points from South Brunswick winning in the future.
That's right.
So we'll see what happens there. All right, beginning of the second half, South Brunswick will punt, having needed about 2 yards. And that's a line drive. Looks like Robinson's going to wave his arms, let it go.
Wow.
That he does. Ball's on about the 10-yard line.
And Robinson apparently told to stay away from it and whatnot, but it's certainly putting the Bears somewhat in a hole here.
Well, they were in a similar hole, if you remember, when they took first possession.
That's right.
And smartly marched down the field with Matt Mariano, the quarterback. Well, he really does make a difference to the East Brunswick offense.
And you got to believe that they're going to play smart ball and stick with the girl they brought to the dance in that first drive. Let's see.
Right. Although, I tell you what, East Brunswick does have some good receivers, namely Schultz. There's a give up the middle. I believe that was Jones. Gets maybe 2 yards on the play.
Okay, quick hit counter there.
Crowd continues to slowly come in, as it usually does here at East Brunswick.
That's for sure.
Kind of tough getting into the stadium for a 7 o'clock game sometimes. A lot of people coming home from work, a lot of people staying back to give out candy. Pitches to Zelak. He goes right, gets around the corner. Good run by the sophomore running back.
I'll tell you, I like this kid. That's like I said, the first time I seen him and whatnot. But if he's a sophomore and whatnot, he's shown a little something there, getting upfield.
I'll tell you what, East Brunswick has had a lot of success running to the outside. If South Brunswick has any chance in this game, they're going to have to shut that run down. Apparently those ends are getting beat. So a first down for the Bears. Ball is on the 23-yard line. Mariano, I think, keeps it himself. And they got him that time. Might have been a loss on that play. Now we'll call it no gain.
Okay, I think number 81, Phil Hoffman, coming off the bottom of that pile there.
So let's make it 2nd and 10 for the Bears. 10 left to go in the second quarter. Mariano is going to throw it. Connects with Zelak. Still running with the ball. I'm not sure. I thought it might have been a busted play, but apparently that was the design.
That was the design, a fake, and then roll out to the right. And Zelak coming across and picking up good yardage there. And they're using Zelak a number of different ways. They're just trying to get the ball into his hands.
All right, remember, East Brunswick started this drive from inside its 10-yard line, and now they're out to the 43-yard line. So at 9:44 left to go in the second period, East Brunswick with a 6-0 lead, looking to add more points. Good cut by Robinson right up the middle.
Wow.
Man, he just turned on the burners that time.
He's explosive.
And really, South Brunswick does not have an answer for East Brunswick's multi-offense.
And number 22, Mike Fisher, again making a tackle for the Vikings. Otherwise, Robinson's on his way.
Again, East Brunswick has good size on the offensive line, and they're really exploiting it. So another first down inside South Brunswick's territory on the 43-yard line. Mariano is going to keep it. Nope, gives it up the middle. That's the deception of this offense. You really, if you have a quarterback that knows how to disguise it, you can really confuse the defense, and I think that's what's been going well for East Brunswick.
And they're clearly keeping the Vikings off balance there, mixing in a little bit of everything.
Gain of 3 on the play. That'll make it 2nd down and 7. You see that secondary creeping up a little bit, Phil? There's Robinson. And I'll tell you what, that was a good block by Zelak. Spun his man outside.
Bam! Wow.
A lot of hitting going on.
I'll tell you.
Nick Zelak put a block out there on the corner that was able to spring Robinson for some extra yards. Yet another first down for East Brunswick.
Robinson showing very quick feet there.
I'll tell you what, East Brunswick's winning the quickness battle too.
But there's some good blocking, as you pointed out there, Jim. The guys up front are doing the job.
Hey, we get a couple of those names. We mentioned Danny Lax is on that offensive line. Correa. You got 2 setbacks. Mariano keeps the ball, goes to his left, totally confused South Brunswick.
I'll tell you again, a nice job again by Mariano. Deft ball handling there.
Jones has been slowed up a couple of times.
He's been banged around a lot for the short period of time he's been in there.
He looks to the sidelines. Marcus Borden refusing to look at him.
And I think we got a flag on this.
If there was, it's not within our sight. Yes, it is. Could have been a late flag. There was a lot of activity down there by that tackle.
They called it holding, and they're pushing him back.
So instead of another first down, that was at the point of the foul. It's going to bring it back to, well, just about the first down marker. So it's going to, well, maybe 11 yards to go. However, the Bears have not been stopped. Mariano looking downfield, tosses it, and a little nice touch to Jones.
And again, Mariano looking rather poised right there, rolling out to the right, trying to find somebody, and just a feathery touch lob pass practically to Jones.
That's what it was.
And they picked up that first down. And nice job.
Right, ball is just about it at the, call it 12, 13-yard line. Boy, they've been really, really moving the ball well.
Mariano's slipping and brought down by a host of tacklers for the Vikings.
And what are they saying? Timeout, South Brunswick. Okay, East Brunswick with the ball just inside the 10-yard line, second down and about, well, they can actually get another first down.
I'll tell you, and again, if you're a Bear fan, you got to be pleased with how the Bears have come out this evening. They look in control. They playing good, solid ball and whatnot. And again, you got to believe it's that extra week. They had that extra week to prepare, and they seem like they've. I don't know if they put some new things in there, but they just seem solid on the things that they're doing right now.
Phil, this is the same East Brunswick team that I saw move the ball well against a good Woodbridge team. And again, in the second half, some unfortunate things happened, and they lost again. That really was a crushing loss for East Brunswick.
I heard about that game there. I heard the Bears clearly had their chances, and
I look at things, and if they had won that game, instead of a 2-4 record, they'd be looking at a 3-3 record, and right in the thick of it, because they would have gotten all these residual points as a result. Anyway, they can only, like you said, they can only do what they can do. This is Mariano, and keeps the ball. There's a pitch outside to Robinson, skirts the left side, and they drag him down just short of the goal line. Actually, just short of the first down marker.
I tell you, Brandon Hare, number 9, coming up, making an important tackle for the Vikings.
Right. That pitch was just a little behind Brian. I'm wondering if he would have caught it, in mid-stride, he would have probably just, maybe got around that corner. But East Brunswick in a good situation here. They can still get a first down without scoring a touchdown, yet the ball's on the 2-yard line. 6:50 left to go in the second quarter. 6-0, Mariano on a quarterback sneak. And they wait and get a first down. They're not in, but they're right at the goal line. So Matt Mariano really, really doing a nice job. Calling signals. Another quarterback sneak. Did he get over? Yes, he did. both officials put their hands up in the air, so that initial surge by Matt Mariano allows him to give East Brunswick a 12-0 lead. You have to think they're going to be going for 2 here.
And we talked about Mariano's presence.
Go ahead, cough it out there, kid. And we'll put you back on. Yes, they are going to go for 2 on this play.
Okay.
Let's see what this setup is. All right, you got Fessel and Robinson split to the left. Jones split to the right. Robinson, that is, and it was just a simple play up the middle that made it. And so East Brunswick, off that 2-point conversion, with Mariano keeping it, gets back to a 14-0 lead. And that was an important 2-point conversion.
Important 2 points, and nobody knows that better than the Bears and whatnot. As I said, they've been hurt by not picking up extra points there, and so to get that 2 points, very important.
So East Brunswick, 14-0, 6:20 left to go in the first half. By the way, it is homecoming. So there's going to be a lot of activity. I guess we'll be showing some of that. All right.
I'll tell you, Jim, speaking about homecoming, one of East Brunswick's favorite sons, you got to like what he's doing. Don Sofoconic, defensive coordinator over at New Brunswick.
That's my alma mater.
And I'll tell you, that may be, in my opinion, the best team in the county easily. They had a tough game last week, but I think it was more them than the other team.
Against Carteret?
They just have it everywhere, across the board. Speed everywhere, an awful lot of talent.
Including one of the best receivers in the country.
No
Dwayne
doubt about
Jarrett.
it.
All right, kickoff now by number 35. We have a new kicker in for East Brunswick. And that is H, who gets wrestled out of bounds by number 44, Gary Morosi, a sophomore. Check that. That was number 48, Ruffner.
84.
Was it 84? I thought it was 48 right here. It came off the field.
Looked like Aaron Horace. I don't know if it's my dyslexia or yours sitting in, Jim.
Would you say something about having bad eyes?
I do.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, here we go. All right, so South Brunswick will try once again. Trey Perry, the quarterback. East Brunswick's really done a good job. There was a little bit of a hole, but East Brunswick closes fast, and Davison gets maybe 5 yards.
Okay. Vince Davison coming off a game where he had 8 rushes for 53 yards against Woodbridge.
Want to give credit to that kicker. Vinny Quagliari was the one who kicked off for East Brunswick. Put it a lot deeper. And squeezing up the middle might have been Davison.
Big number 77, Mike Cassini, and on a tackle for the Bears.
We're going to pronounce that the right way. It's Acciani.
Acciani, okay.
That's
a little more romantic. Acciani, okay.
Third down and about 2. This is an important down for South Brunswick to continue this drive, and we have a flag whistle. If this is a legal procedure, it's a very inopportune penalty for the Vikings, and it is. So instead of 3rd and 2, it'll be now 3rd and 7. Clock continues to run, under 5 minutes to play in the second quarter. The Bears on 2 one-yard runs by Jones and Mariano lead 14-0 over South Brunswick. Here comes East Brunswick. That was a blitz. Good play.
Wow.
Very, very nice play. I don't know who made that defensive call, but coming in from the right side, believe that was number 30 for East Brunswick, John Park. And the sack now puts South Brunswick back deep in its own territory on about the 13-yard line. East Brunswick will likely have good position here.
Okay, Dan Lax may have been in there as well.
There's the punt, almost blocked, and let's see, are they going to call anything? No. Apparently the strategy, Phil, is for East Brunswick not to field punts.
I'll tell you one thing.
Because Robinson got away from that one.
Krelowitz was looking for a little rough from the kicker there. But
yeah, I thought so too.
But the official standing right on top of it did not call it.
So the Bears will once again try to put some more points on the ball. This time they start out inside South Brunswick territory on the 45-yard line. They lead 14-0 and have really looked good doing so. Pitch to Zelak. This time he doesn't have any room.
I'll tell you, and once again, Mark Fisher, number 22, coming up from his quarterback spot, make a tackle.
I'm going to say about a loss of 1 on that play. So it'll be 2nd and 11. Clock really not a factor. 3:25 left to go in the second quarter. Ball on the 46. East Brunswick has thrown the ball a couple of times successfully. You got Robinson and Schultz at the top. Mariano keeps, pitches to Zelak, finds the hole. Beautiful run, still on his feet. Boy, I'll tell you what, a perfect timing play on that.
Not only perfect timing, but Zelak again keeps those legs turning and whatnot. He's just constantly in motion there and was able to pick up an extra 4 yards because those legs are moving.
So a first down. Boy, I'd like to get the first down total for East Brunswick this half. They've really done it on the ground offensively. Ball is on the 27-yard line. Mariano gives left to Robinson. Looks for a block. Still on his feet. He was tripped up for a moment, Phil.
Fisher, number 22, coming up again just to barely trip him up. Robinson kept his balance and picked up an extra 3 yards.
Out leading the blocking was Greg Byrne, number 53. Gain of 7 on the play. Second and 3 for the East Brunswick. Pitches up the, no pitch, run up the middle. And it'll be a first down. Phil, I believe East Brunswick has 2 timeouts left.
I'll tell you what, they may, but they're clicking on all cylinders right now, and it's just a nice running game there, mixing things up very well.
And they'll start the clock now with 1:50 left to go.
And the temptation may be to do something with a quick pass there, but they've been running the ball well, Jim.
Well, the ball's on about the 14-yard line, so really they do have some time. And there's an end around to number 3, Zelak. Cuts to inside and gets really good yardage. Now the clock might become a factor.
Okay, Jamal McKinney, number 3 for the Vikings, coming up to make the tackle on Zelak.
East Brunswick taking its time. Gain of 4 on the play, make it 2nd and 6. Mariano, that quarterback. Give is to Robinson, and he's going to cut to the corner and get into the end zone for another East Brunswick touchdown to make it 20-0.
And Robinson
with a go for the extra point.
Making it look rather easily, Jim.
Yep.
Easy.
I have to say, they've really made things look easy. This is a fluid offense tonight.
The running game has been superb.
That touchdown coming from about, say, 11 yards out with 49 seconds left to go in the first half, and Mariano, the quarterback, will also do the kicking duties. Good snap, good hold, and what do we got? Extra point is good. So with 49 seconds remaining in the first half of play, East Brunswick out to a 21-0 lead. Phil, we talked at the top about how these teams were so equal. Well, East Brunswick's kind of tilted in their favor tonight.
A little more equal than the Vikings are tonight. And to see East Brunswick score 21 points in this half here, they've scored just 76 points all season, Jim. So this is a breakout for them, and I don't see no stopping them the way things are going. The Vikings have been known for their defense as well. The Vikings don't give up a whole lot of points.
No, they haven't.
They've only allowed 68 points overall,
right.
And here the Bears have scored 21 on them.
So a little bit of a shock for the Vikings.
And to give you some perspective on that, Silver only scored 20 points on this Vikings team.
Yeah.
You know, so
hard to figure.
Really?
Well, what about J.P. Stevens? J.P. Stevens scored 1 touchdown.
Wow.
All right. That kick was by Quagliera. Etch gets out to about 35-yard line.
I'll tell you, D-Marquis, Hetch,
yes,
runs the same way. He comes up initially, then hits that sidelines, and he
heads for the line
and starts slowing down.
Really? I didn't want to make that observation, Phil, but you're absolutely right.
It's the second kickoff return that we've noticed that. He's done it the same way.
So you got 41 seconds left to work with here for South Brunswick. Perry's been a quarterback all the way. On another whistle, what do we got? East Brunswick call a timeout? Because they're walking over to this side of the field.
They did, Jim.
Wow.
Yeah, they did. There's something Marcus Borden's seen that he didn't like, and he's calling all his troops over to the side right now.
All right, you look at the East Brunswick coach.
And Marcus, Marcus is not taking any chances. The Bears have been burned before with a score right before the half, and he doesn't want to allow anything here.
Marcus Borden, who has been head coach here since 1983 in his 20th season as head coach of the East Brunswick team.
Wow. I think Marcus's record as of the date is 102 wins, 94 losses, and 1 tie.
Okay, here we go. Trey Perry, the quarterback. Give is up the middle and getting good yards and off to the races. A saving tackle by Dwayne Schultz there.
And there's a marker.
They might have fumbled the ball, Phil. Yes, they did.
Wow.
I think Dwayne Schultz somehow wrestled that ball out of the carrier Davidson's hands.
And we just talked about the fact that Marcus was warning his team about no quick scores before the half there. The Vikings got off a very fine run. Unfortunately, they fumbled the ball, and fortunate for the Bears, they recovered it.
So the Bears with 29 seconds, wonder what they'll do. Mariano, give is to Robinson. Looks to the left. And a lot of
Fisher.
Tackling by pulling the shirt.
I'll tell you, Fisher coming up again.
Well, Robinson did a good thing by staying in bounds,
right.
So I think East Brunswick's just going to let the clock filter on out.
Mark Fisher and Kyle Breeze, number 12, Aiden Fisher.
And that's going to do it. East Brunswick elects to let the clock run out, and so with the first half in the books, East Brunswick with an impressive 21-0 halftime lead. What do you think, Phil?
I just think I'm impressed with how the Bears have come out and run that ball and whatnot. They've shown excellent balance and whatnot. Despite the South Brunswick's record, they've played some pretty good defense this year and whatnot. And they haven't given up 21 points in the first half to anyone. So, again, the Bears doing a nice job.
Well, I'll tell you who I'm most impressed with, and that is the quarterback, Matt Mariano. He is very comfortable running this East Brunswick option, and he has good players, notably Nick Zelak, Javon Jones, and Brian Robinson, to give the ball to or take it himself, and I think that's really caused South Brunswick some problems. All right, that's it for the first half. East Brunswick with a 21-0 lead over the Vikings. We'll be looking at the halftime activities right after this. Okay, we are back at East Brunswick's J. Doyle Stadium, where East Brunswick has run up a 21-0 lead in very impressive fashion against South Brunswick. This is Jimmy Allinder being joined by Phil Hill as we look at the decisions that need to be made for the second half. I think East Brunswick will receive since they deferred, and that they will. And we'll be moving from our right to left. Just a quick recap on the scoring, Phil. In the first period, Javon Jones was the beneficiary of a long drive, and he had the opportunity to plunge in from 1 yard to put East Brunswick ahead 6-0. The extra point was no good, and that score came at 1:20. And the second quarter, Matt Mariano has done a really outstanding job running the option offense for the Bears. Off another long drive, snuck in from 1 yard at 6:20 left to go. The two-point conversion was also good by Mariano, and that made it 14-0 East Brunswick. To close out the scoring, Brian Robinson sort of found the left side and angled to the end zone from 11 yards out with just 49 seconds left to go in the quarter. The extra point by Mariano made it 21-0, and that's where we stand. So East Brunswick's offense looking good, but let's not forget East Brunswick's defense too, Phil.
Well, East Brunswick's defense is doing the job. They've been aggressive. They've gained tackle, and they haven't allowed the Vikings to get anything going. Of course, the Vikings come into this game with offensive problems and whatnot. They just haven't been too good on offense. I think they're scoring only 53 points this year, and they're just having a tough time getting on track.
All right, kicking off for South Brunswick will be number 51, and that is, well, we have a whistle, so this is not a kick. That would be Matt Sapazinski.
I think they kicked off before the officials were.
Gotta wait for the officials. Now, I do not think a penalty is incurred. Or is it? Yeah, yes, it is. Gonna make them kick from the 35.
Okay, offsides.
Deep for East Brunswick is Robinson, and it looks like Zelak that might be. No, that's Jones. Zelak is one of the upbacks along with Park. Excuse me, Slav Godin. All right. High kick. Bounced. Got to get on it. Jones picks it up. Makes a cut.
Ooh,
and
smothered under.
Yeah, good coverage by South Brunswick on that. So we're underway in the third quarter. East Brunswick would like to extend that lead a little bit more.
Okay, and Mark Fisher, once again, number 22 for the Vikings, making a tackle. The kid has a slew of tackles. He's just an aggressive player, whether it's on special teams or just on defense.
Bears will start on their 20-yard line, so they have 80 yards to go. But again, has East Brunswick punted tonight? I don't think they have.
I don't believe so.
So Mariano doing the job at quarterback. Wide pitch.
Wow.
Robinson does well just to fall on it.
And Jim, you talk about the option and whatnot, and that is the risk part of it and whatnot. Anytime you put it out there, you run the risk of a turnover there. You can practice that, and game time, it just depends what's happening there. They were out of sync.
So that is a big loss. We're going to call it about a 12-yard loss on that play, making it 2nd and 22. Phil, the thing that I have noted is that East Brunswick has come out flat in second halves of some games. They look really good in the first half, and yet it's a reverse. There's the pitch to Robinson, spins away from one tackle.
And that's really what you got to do, Jim. You can pitch the ball at any time, but usually you pitch the ball after you set it up with some good inside running, bringing the defense in, and then you come with the pitch there.
Good gain on the play. However, with that other loss and loss of down, makes it now a 3rd and 13. Is he going to run? He's being chased. Good block by Zelak. Frees up.
Wow.
Mariano to complete the pass to number 84. That was Horace. His first reception of the night.
And I'll tell you, Aaron Horace, a big target there, and Mariano putting it right on the money.
I got to tell you, Nick Zelak, I thought that number 80 for South Brunswick, Jackson was going to wrestle down Mariano, but Zelak turned around and nailed him with a good block, and Mariano was able to complete the pass to Horace all the way out to midfield. So a first down for East Brunswick. They are on the move again and was able to recover from that long loss. Robinson, Zelak with a beautiful block. Zelak took on a player, it looked twice his size.
It's called heart.
Really, and just did the job.
It's called heart. You can teach how to block and whatnot, but to want to block is a different thing.
Gain of 5 yards on that play where it looked like nothing. And quite frankly, Phil, South Brunswick does not have an answer for this East Brunswick option.
They don't. They don't.
They are getting wrestled around this field, and East Brunswick probably is getting even more confident as the game goes on. Mariano bounces off one tackle, gets good yardage.
And Jim, that time they did the job. And when you're defending the option, it basically defense. It's assignment football. You got the tackle and nose guard. They take the fullback, middle linebacker and safety responsible for the quarterback, and the outside linebackers responsible for the halfback. So if everybody does their job, you should be able to stop them, providing you got the athletic ability.
Mariano gets 4 yards on the play, so it's just 3rd and 1. Robinson looks like he's got the first down. Some of those names on this offensive line that have been doing the job.
Okay.
Tony Ojel, for pronouncing it correctly. Dan Lax, I see out there. Horace at the tight end position. Up the pipe. It's a good strong run. Rick Byrne, of course, we've mentioned him before.
Okay.
And Korea.
Wayne Cooner, number 73 on the tackle for the Vikings.
Gain of 4. Clock is running, 8:30 left to go in the 3rd quarter of play. East Brunswick 21, South Brunswick nothing. Quick pass out to Robinson. Breaks away from a tackle. He had a blocker out there. I think that was Schultz.
I'll tell you, number 9, Brandon Hare coming up with the tackle. But Robinson dangerous anytime he gets the ball in his hands. Yeah. You can see it. He is explosive.
Yet another first down for East Brunswick. They have been running them up tonight. And you have to think, in addition, Phil, that this South Brunswick defense has got to be getting tired.
Well,
they've been on the field for a large portion of this game.
And last week as well.
With the first down, East Brunswick continues the drive. Robinson straight ahead. And he's down to about the 15-yard line with a gain of 5.
And Evan Mahoney, number 44, making the tackle for the Vikings.
Mahoney, the fullback for South Brunswick, getting double duty. 2 ways in Group Central Jersey Group 4 is real tough.
That's for sure.
East Brunswick definitely in a rhythm here. There's Robinson. Nice block by 53. Nope, he got pulled down.
And Kyle Breeze, number 12, coming up to make the tackle on Robinson.
That was a nice play. Well, they still got the first down, however, just inside the 10-yard line. So it'll be 1st and goal for the Bears. Matt Mariano has been a quarterback this entire game, and he has really looked well. Boy, there's a good slash to the left side by Robinson, who's seeing the majority of the carries this drive.
And Brady Szukalski, number 33.
He gets about 4. So it is 2nd and goal, ball resting on the 5-yard line. 6:20 left to go, 3rd quarter of play. East Brunswick definitely has South Brunswick on its heels. This time it's Zelak. He gets away from 1 tackle, spins his way, and pushes it over. Beautiful run by Nick Zelak.
I'll tell you, a very fine run by Zelak, but again, you got to give that offensive line credit there.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you, give Harry Marr some credit. He's done a fine job in preparing these kids this week. They had that extra week, and that offensive line and the defensive line, for that fact, has been doing the job all day today.
That touchdown coming with 6:10 left to go in the 3rd quarter really puts a damper on South Brunswick. Mariano will attempt the extra point, and it is up and through. So, East Brunswick chalks on another 7. Makes it 28-0.
And I dare say that's the most points the Bears have. Well, actually, they scored at 28 against Edison. They beat Edison 28-12.
Right,
so they
right.
tied their
High for the year.
the high mark, really. But the Bears looking good.
And looking ahead, East Brunswick has 1 more game to play with Perth Amboy. That'll be an away contest, which will end qualification for the states.
That's right.
So we'll see what happens with the remainder of the schedule. And again, you got to look to other teams to find out how they perform. Some of those teams that East Brunswick is looking up at, besides South Brunswick, is Jackson, not a bad team, Pennsauken, Trenton, North Brunswick, Middletown North, Manalapan, Hunterdon Central. A lot of variety. You know, they've changed things around as far as the groupings for the
Which
for the
really
states.
should make it a lot more interesting than it's been in the past.
Right. Good long driving kick. So Quagliera makes a nice kickoff, and I know what you're going to say, Phil.
I'm not going to say it.
Hetch goes for the sideline.
Well, D. Marquis Hetch can do a lot of things on the field. Kickoff returns may not be his forte. I'll tell you this here, you're probably going to see the Vikings come out of a different bag. The option offense isn't a catch-up offense, so you're probably going to see them putting the ball in the air a whole lot, and why not? Even though they do come out initially in the wishbone here.
Doesn't mean they won't throw. They have to make up 4 touchdowns. Well, the give is up the middle. Well, out to the outside is Davidson. You know, they did that same thing at the end of the first half.
Right before the first half, so they're going to stick with it till it stopped. And Brian Robinson coming up to make the tackle there. But you're right, Jim. They had that run right before the half and then had a turnover on it. So they found something.
Well, I think East Brunswick probably is more of a prevent defense now, trying to prevent the long pass completion. Might open something up in the inside. There's a give up the middle again. This time they got him stopped.
Smashed under, I tell you.
We haven't had to call too many East Brunswick defenders tonight because they haven't been on the field all that much.
No.
But number 77 for the Bears.
And number 80.
That's Mike Gacciani.
83, Danny Fessel. And
Danny's been a big.
And Robinson again.
Horace is out there. Going both ways is Byrne. He's looked good. And Park has been one of the backers that looks very, very good. And they chase him. Oh, I think they just called a clip.
Wow.
Unfortunately, that is going to come back.
Wow. And I think you're right. Blocking below.
Acciani was just leveled.
Well, two East Brunswick would-be tacklers were leveled there, and
kind of pushed from the back and pushed him into his own man.
An official standing right on top of it. So probably the biggest pass play certainly for the Vikings, and it goes for naught.
Yep, they're going to call a chop block, which is basically blocking below the waist.
Right.
Can't do that in high school football.
Not anymore.
So you want to bring it back. All right, that penalty will be marked off to about the 26-yard line. So, well, that's a huge loss because it was marked off from the side of the foul. So I'm going to say it's about 2nd and 30. They got a long way to go. Tipped in the air.
Ooh.
That was up for grabs.
And the Bears had a chance. Zelak in the area.
4:32 left to go in the third quarter.
Okay, Trey Perry, quarterback's going to be under some pressure here, Jim. They know they probably got to go to the air to get anywhere near back in here, so they'll be coming.
Perry back to pass. Lofts one out to Mahoney. And Schultz tried to get an arm on him, did enough to slow him down. And the tackle was made by Robinson.
How active is Robinson? Jeez. And I saw that last year. Special teams, he does it all. Okay, here you go for the punt.
They're going to punt on, it is 4th down. Okay, my apology. This time it's gathered in. Good job by number 21 for East Brunswick. Finally dragged down. So Ayala fields that punt. Boy, East Brunswick back at it again. .339 remaining in the third quarter of play. East Brunswick an impressive 28-0 lead. Matt Mariano has been calling signals all the way for East Brunswick. Robinson cuts it up the middle. This time they got him.
Okay, a host of tacklers led by number 33, Brady Sholkulski.
Let's see, gain of about what? 3 on that play? Things kind of quieting down right now. East Brunswick seems to have this game under wraps. Give us to Robinson. This play has worked very well tonight. Gets hit by one man before he's driven out of bounds.
Okay. Mayor White, number 8, pushed him out of bounds. Robinson looked like he could have cut up there. Robinson sort of heads to the sidelines a lot, but looks like he could cut up sooner and whatnot and pick up some yardage.
This has been a fast-moving game, I have to tell you.
A lot of running, a lot of running on the ground there. So,
all right, what do we have here? Official timeout. I guess they're going to measure this one. So the chains will come all across the field.
couple of my friends there on the chain gang, JoJo Franchino and John Mullane, still on the job.
Absolutely.
John Mullane, I mean, he's been doing that for a long time.
All right, they're going to say it's short by about 6 inches, so they'll walk it to the middle of the field.
And JoJo Franchino, who has a son, a young guy, I believe he might be a freshman. And he's a ball player. You're going to hear that name, Franchino. Watch out for it.
East Brunswick?
East Brunswick, yeah.
Okay. So we're going to call it third and about 6 inches as we get set to go here. 2:51 remaining in the quarter.
Mike Franchino, he's a sophomore, sorry.
All righty. Mariano might just sneak it himself the way he looks. Nope. Going to give it up the middle. Siobhan Jones on the carry.
And I'll tell you got to give it to the Bears the way they've come out today. And,
Oh, gosh.
And I tell you, the coaches, this is when let's give these guys, Tony Toto for the defensive coordinator, Andy Steinfeld, tight ends, linebackers, Harry Mars, offensive and defensive line, Keith Lane, wide receivers, defensive back, Glenn Bazinko, freshman, and Tom Giordano, freshman.
Another first down for East Brunswick. All right, who was on that carry? He got buried. It was Jones.
And again, they're just mixing it up so nicely. A lot of touches, by a lot of different backs, and when that happens, Jim, makes for a great week of practice.
Oh, yeah. Clock continues to run with a third down and 6 yards to go. Under 2 minutes to play in the third quarter. Mariano gives a wide pitch to Zelak, makes a cut inside, and that was a good tackle.
That was an excellent tackle, number 27.
Abdallah, is that pronounced?
Abdallah, James Abdallah.
Abdallah.
5'10", 180-pound senior, manning the corner there, and did a good job. Contained and made the tackle.
So 3rd and 2 for East Brunswick. They really have not been stopped this entire night.
Not at all.
They have not yet punt the ball. Zelak, I think he's got enough.
Yes, he does.
If nothing else, that surge of the offensive line.
And that's what's doing it, Jim. We can sit here and talk about the number of backs that are getting touches and whatnot. But clearly it is that offensive line that is just blowing the Vikings off the line.
Clock continues to run. 45 seconds left to go in the quarter. Give us up the middle to Zelak. Excuse me, Jones was on the carry.
Jason Higley making a tackle for the Vikings.
And will East Brunswick run a play here, or will they let the clock run out? I think they will. They're sort of standing in the huddle. So that's going to do it for the third quarter play. East Brunswick's going to be faced with a 2nd and 6 as they look to extend a 28-0 lead and perhaps fill their best game this season.
Well, you have to think so. Like I said, 28 points at this juncture, shutting out their opponent and whatnot. It'd be hard to improve on that, I think.
It's kind of hard to judge the quality of East Brunswick's effort because, you know, when you hold Piscataway to a 21-14 game, you know,
Right.
you're doing a job
Right.
because Piscataway's a good team.
Right.
Same thing with J.P. Stevens. Stevens, a 7-6 loss. You know, Woodbridge, 25-21. These are all close games that East Brunswick certainly could have won.
But I think when you get down to this time of the season, the big difference is East Brunswick won their last game. Even at 7-2 over Bishop Art, they won it. They had a week off to prepare. South Brunswick, on the other hand, lost another close game against Woodbridge. And late in the season, that stuff starts to add up, Jim.
You're right.
And
it doesn't get easier for them either. They play Old Bridge next week.
Mercy.
And then they have to wrap it up with North Brunswick.
Which will be a battle, which is always a battle.
North Brunswick looking, I'll tell you what, you talk about a turnaround program. North Brunswick was a disaster the last 2 years. And they have really, really, with Aaron Hicks at running back, is one of the best backs in the county. Okay, East Brunswick, second down. He's going to throw it, Mariano. Schultz in the corner. A little bit too long.
Just a little too long. Schultz had his man beat, actually. Tried to make the diving catch. And Dwayne Schultz, we talked about him at the top of the game, showing how valuable he was to the team 2 weeks ago when he quarterbacked for the Bears when a game-time decision that Mariano couldn't go.
So we'll make it 3rd and 6. East Brunswick, ball on the 20-yard line. There's a give to Robinson trying to go around the end. Oh, I think he was held. Yep, they're going to call that one. Unfortunately, Greg Byrne reached out in front of 2 referees.
Standing right there, trying to do something to help his partner, but it cost him right there.
So a penalty if they want to mark it off. Let's see. They are going to mark it off. Thought maybe South Brunswick might think about refusing it since it would have been a 4th down, but they need to drive East Brunswick back.
And you saw that pass before by the Bears, just trying to get, you know, they know it's a good game, trying to get all their players in the game and trying to use different facets of the game. A little early yet for anyone to cry that they shouldn't be.
Mariano is at quarterback. He has been the entire game. He's going to look to throw. Looking over the middle there. Oh, almost intercepted.
I'll tell you, nice defensive play. You're right. He almost came up with the number 27 for the Vikings, and that's James Abdallah again.
Well, Horace and Schultz were both open in the middle, yet Mariano elected to go to the outside. So it is now a 4th down, and I believe if East Brunswick punts, this will be the first time this evening. And the punter for East Brunswick is Rob Ayala, so that looks to be the situation. Correction, that is Dwayne Schultz who's going to do the punting. Good snap, angles to the corner. And bounces out on about the 12-yard line, let's call it.
Okay.
And that is where South Brunswick will take over. 1st and 10 with 11:05 left to go in this game. And once again, the scoring for East Brunswick, a touchdown in the first quarter by Javon Jones. Mariano, the quarterback, scored in the second quarter, and Robinson was the 3rd recipient of the touchdown, and then Zelak. So 4 different players involved in the scoring for the Bears.
Okay.
Give is up the middle to who? Is that?
That's a nice hard run by number 25 for the Vikings, and that's Davidson.
Right. He's been their workhorse back, if you want to call one. Second down and 3 yards to go. I think we got a new quarterback in there, Phil.
Okay.
Number 12.
And they pick up the first down, and you see him come out of that wishbone set there. Jim, there's only about 5 option teams in Middlesex County. Old Bridge,
Really?
of course. Monroe Township, I believe.
You're right about that.
Middlesex, South Brunswick, and of course East Brunswick. So 5 teams running that option.
By the way, the quarterback is a sophomore, Kyle Brees, for South Brunswick. Brees gives up the middle. Outside is Davidson, and he's not going down. He's playing with all his heart.
I'll tell you, hard running by Vince Davidson. 5'9", 180 pounds, sophomore.
So a lot of youth on display for the Vikings. First down as we try to talk over the band, which is decided to greet us with fourth quarter serenades.
I'll tell you.
Nothing fancy, but this time East Brunswick
wow.
penetrated well.
I tell you, big number 77 for the Bears. Michael Asiani.
Asiani. That's
Okay,
it.
better that time for me. Nice job, Mike.
Mike's the senior. Okay.
And Mike,
Danny is your sophomore. Both about the same size.
5'11", 234. Ooh.
Actually, Danny's bigger. Second and 12 for South Brunswick. Boy, I think East Brunswick decided to play a little defense now.
Wow.
Boy, did they just steamroll it through there.
I'll tell you, Mike Asiani on the tackle again, along with help from number 53, I believe, and that's Gregory Byrne. Just plowing them under.
So I'm going to say no gain on that play, maybe even a loss. Clock continues to run with 8:20 left to go. In the game, East Brunswick 28-0. Might be a pass play here, Phil.
Let's see.
You would think. They have 3 receivers split to the left. Reese back to throw. He's a lefty as well.
Mercy.
And he gets snowed under by Robinson.
I'll tell you, Robinson blowing in from his linebacker spot and leveling the young sophomore.
Boy, that was a hard tackle.
I'll tell you.
Reese exits the field. Program says 5'10", 170. I doubt it.
Okay, Gary Morosi, number 44, back to kick for the Vikings.
So we have Robinson and a timeout on the field now?
And,
South Brunswick calls timeout.
And Ayala back for the Bears. And Jim, we might as well go back to where we started, that the Bears needed this game, and they have to look sharp. And as we've been saying, all they can do is what they can do at this juncture. They're doing that today.
Yeah.
And they just have to take care of Perth Amboy again next week. And if they get a little help, who knows? They'll be right there.
Well, one of the things of regular season football, if you will, if you don't qualify for the top 8 playoffs, you will play one consolation game against a team of a similar record. And I don't know. I have mixed emotions about that.
I don't have mixed emotions. I think it's just a give me, but apparently some people like it.
Not a particularly good snap. And a fair catch call by Ayala makes it.
I'll tell you. Ayala and Robinson there to give him a little help just in case.
And that is where East Brunswick will take over. Probably, I don't think the ball's going to be thrown anymore. All right, we have a new quarterback. It looks like Schultz. No, Mariano's still back in there. Thought maybe East Brunswick might pull its quarterback. Phil, what do you think? 28-0 lead. Mark Mariano coming off an injury in the previous game.
Well, which means he missed the full week
Yeah.
of playing, and he'll be out pretty soon.
Well, he runs the ball now. Gets good yardage.
I'll tell you, and he takes a shot.
Yes, he did.
Coming up again, Fisher.
No, he's holding his helmet, his head.
Mark Fisher, easily the leading tackler for the Vikings.
No damage there. Mariano with a 5-yard gain, 2nd and 5. Cut up the middle by Zelak. He's met.
And number 44.
That's Mahoney.
Mahoney. He brings it every time.
Yeah, he's not letting up. Evan Mahoney is a 6 foot, 220-pound senior. This game is grinding to a slow end. Pitches to Robinson. He gets maybe a couple yards. Close to the first down. Might have to measure on this one. Nope, they say first down. All right, Robinson does leave the game, and he gets a nice hand from the crowd. Starting to see some new faces in there, Phil.
Okay.
I think that's number 36 in there for the Bears. Mariano, however, is the quarterback, keeps it. So number 36 for East Brunswick. Actually, his name is not listed in our program. Maybe you have something a little bit more updated.
Okay, Mike Franchino.
That is Franchino?
Number 1 coming in the game.
Oh, okay.
And number 11 as well, Joseph Peterson at quarterback.
Peterson is a 5'10", 150 pounds sophomore. Obviously part of the future for East Brunswick. He'll get a taste of action. There's a pitch to number 21. That's Ayala. Breaks a tackle. He's a tough-nosed player.
I'll tell you, he is. He cut up there nicely.
And the clock continues to roll as Ayala stays in bounds. Gets good yardage on that play.
A lot of new players in there. Dan Asiano in there right now. Number 33, Charles Sacco.
Mike Asiani and James Correa come out, as does Byrne. All those guys really made just a good name for themselves tonight. Steve Halupka, he did well. Give is to number 36.
No fumble.
We do not have a number for number 36, Phil.
Okay, and Fisher coming up to make the tackle. Who else?
Yep. Out comes Lax, who played a nice game tonight. Horace leaving the game as at tight end.
36 might be Vinny Quagliara.
And I see clean uniforms on both sides of the ball.
32, Robert Wade in the game as well.
So this is a 4th down, and apparently they're not going to punt. Peterson is at quarterback, the sophomore. Gives it up the middle to Ayala. And I don't know, he might have made it. I think he did. And a first down for East Brunswick.
I'll tell you.
Good, nice run there by Robert Ayala.
Number 54, Lee Falber in the game as well.
And Ayala leaves the game. Charles Sacco, number 33, coming into the game. East Brunswick has not had many opportunities to substitute in the late going like this, especially with a winning edge. 36 with it, slips behind the line of scrimmage. Meanwhile, the clock continues to wind down to 2 minutes and 20 seconds to go in this contest. South Brunswick really, other than that first drive, really never mounted a serious threat.
And that's been their problem for most of the year, just the lack of an offense and whatnot. While the defense has been rather aggressive and whatnot, they've had a problem putting points on the board, and as you can see, no points tonight.
So we will make it 2nd down and 13. Ayala looks like he's going to keep it himself, turns it up, gets about 4.
Okay, Will Stoffers, number 81, doing a little downfield blocking there.
So that run will make it 3rd and, well, they're back to the original line of scrimmage. 3rd and 10. And all they're doing is playing out the string here. Peterson. Give us to the right side here. Good cut up the middle by Park. And on yet another first down for East Brunswick.
I'll tell you, good running by the young fella.
And that is going to do it. I can tell you that right now. East Brunswick will probably take a couple knees.
I think that's Slav Gooden. Slav Godin, number 42, on a nice run there.
I thought that was Park. I apologize.
It's okay.
Ooh, almost lost that one. And dragged down. 45 seconds left to go in the contest. Clock continues to run. And South Brunswick not stopping the clock. They know this game was over a long time ago. This will likely be the last play of the game.
Okay, Chris Fagan spreads left.
They can't be throwing it, Phil. There's Franchino with it.
I'll tell you, good hard running by Franchino.
And that will do it. The final score here at J. Doyle Field, East Brunswick 28 and South Brunswick nothing. The win moves East Brunswick's record now to 3-4. 500 is in sight, Phil.
500 is in sight, and I tell you, Jim, my first real good look at the Bears, and I'm impressed.
A lot of young players on that team, too.
That's the thing that strikes me. There's just a bunch of juniors on this team here, which means they're going to have a real solid team next year.
Yeah.
Bears looking good.
And as we mentioned, the scoring was well distributed tonight with Javon Jones, quarterback Matt Mariano, Brian Robinson, and Nick Zelak all involved in the scoring for East Brunswick as they put 4 touchdowns on the board. Phil mentioned this is the highest point total for the Bears this year. And again, they now can take a look realistically at maybe qualifying for one of those 8 playoff berths. It's still a reach, but yet they have a chance.
It's still a reach. On paper, they should be able to handle the Perth Amboy. Perth Amboy's young and scrappy and whatnot, but the Bears look awfully solid tonight. And if they play like this next week, I don't think they'll have a problem.
All right. Okay, that'll do it tonight from J. Doyle Field. The final score: East Brunswick 28 and South Brunswick nothing. For Phil Hill, this is Jimmy Allinder saying thanks for being with us.